Hello, aspirants. Hello, everyone. We'll just wait for a few more minutes to let more people join and then we'll start. Hello, Malaya. So, where are you folks joining from? Good evening, Vishesh. Dehradun, nice. There are many people in our current batch who are from Dehradun. Kolkata, nice. People are joining from different parts of country. So, how was the CAT exam? Madhya Pradesh. Sure. Good evening.
Nice to see so many people joining.
Hello, Priyam.
Yes, we are from the admissions team of SIBM Pune.
Yes, we are all students, first year students of SIBM Pune.
Hello everyone. Till we are waiting for everybody to join in, why don't you guys go ahead and scan our QR codes so you can reach out to us on WhatsApp or Telegram and get all updates.
So I can see a lot of comments saying that CAT was below expectation. And that's totally fine. You don't have to worry about that at this point of time. We are here to help you to tell you what your next step can be. How can you prepare for SNAP examination, even if your CAT was not that great. Okay, so I think we should start. So at this point of time, we know that CAT exam is over. Okay, some comments I can see people are saying there is a lag. Let me just check that first. If there is a lag. Okay, so before starting, let's just introduce ourselves first, who we are. So we are the admissions team or aspirant relations team of SIBM Pune. I'm Athar Varya and I am currently a student of first year MBA in marketing.
Hello everyone, I am Rohan Joshi, and I don't know, you maybe noticed on the slide, my name was written incorrectly, but that's okay. I'll introduce myself. So I'm a fresher, I come from a Bachelor's of Commerce background, and right now I'm here doing MBA in marketing. And here I am to help you and guide you all for last minute tips because we have like 12 days to snap like that stuff. So it's kind of easy. Don't worry about it. You will get through it.
Hello aspirants, I am Mansa Gumma. I am an electronics and communication engineer. Post my graduation, I have worked as a software engineer in Cognizant, and after that I also did freelance content writing. And now in SIBM Pune, I am pursuing operations as my specialization. And I am here to clear all your doubts. And believe me, it's not just one exam, it's a chapter of many exams, and you are going to easily cross all of them.
Hello everyone, I am Arushi Sharma. I'm also part of the aspirant relations team, and I did my undergraduate as Bachelor's of Architecture from School of Planning and Architecture in New Delhi, post which I worked for a year, and now I've joined here at SIBM Pune to pursue my MBA in marketing.
Okay, so at this point of time, we know that there are 5 types of people who are appearing for MBA exams. First are those people whose CAT exam was not that great, like they could not attempt one section properly, or they are not expecting very good percentile. There might be some people like that, and there is no need to worry even then. We will come to the strategy part and how you can proceed at this point of time. But the second type of people are those who attempted the CAT. They think that they will get a decent percentile but not that great. Third are those kind of people who might get 90 plus percentile, but they are not happy with that. They want to get into some top B school, and they are not, at this point of time, they are not ready to, like, not happy with their scores. There are some students who might have the confidence that they will score more than 97 percentile. And there are some people who did not even attempt CAT. They are totally focused on SNAP. So we will talk about everyone, how to proceed from this, and what type of strategy we can take depending on our position.
So first things first, when you are giving CAT, you first need to understand that when you move towards SNAP, the pattern of the exam entirely changes. That's the major factor here you need to first concentrate on. That SNAP is a speed-based test. It is 60 questions in 60 minutes, but CAT and other exams were not like that. So you need to change your strategy and adapt yourself to give an exam that is speed-based. You now need to increase your calculation speed and attempting speed with accuracy so that you can attempt more and maximize your score.
So one more tip I would like to add on, especially for the quant section, is that we observe that many a times people are able to tackle the LR section as well as the mobile section, but non-engineers like me, we lag behind in the quant section. So what we can do for that is just prepare a sheet of formulas if you have not already, and maybe our handle can share that sheet with you as well because we have the resources. So from that sheet you can prepare many as many formulas as you want. Then you can practice quick math questions. It does not have to be very complex, just some quick multiplications, additions, or something like that, because even 5 seconds saved by you would add on to, it will be a dominoes effect to every chain. It will create a chain and you will end up saving a lot of time in your exam. And then if your quant section is weak, you can come back to those questions, revise them, I mean, go through them again, and you can solve them perfectly.
Adding on to Rohan's point, I would like to highlight that SNAP doesn't have any sectional cutoffs. Now, as Rohan has told, you have to concentrate on every section because you need to maximize your score if you want to get into a merit college. So even if you are not that good in any section, you can easily concentrate on that section which you are strong and good at. So since there is a no cutoff here and you can navigate throughout the paper, the best thing you can do is to buckle up on your strengths and maximize your score on that basis. But it's not advisable not to leave the other topics and other critical areas. You need to look through the foundations of every topic.
So for those people whose CAT were not that great, I would suggest that first look into it and see what actually went wrong. Were you not able to perform in one particular section, or was it something else? Were you not able to perform due to exam stress? Because that also happens. You might be a very good candidate, you might have very good knowledge, and you might be scoring very good in mock test. But when it came to the actual exam, you were not able to perform that great, and it happens a lot. So if that is some problem, you will need to work on that. And we will suggest some techniques in this session on itself with how you can deal with the stress which appears with the exam. Coming to some of those students whose CAT exam was great and they are fairly confident of getting a good percentile, even then it is important to focus on other MBA exams such as SNAP. And I will tell the reason why. I got a very good percentile in CAT exam. And even when I got such good percentile, I was not able to convert top B schools. I was able to convert most like new and baby IIMs, but I wanted to get into some top B school like SIBM Pune, and that's why, because of profile or something else, I was not able to make it. So this SNAP exam is a chance for those students as well who might get good percentile, but they might not be able to convert top B schools because of their profile.
So I would like to suggest that if you are the one, your now main focus is CAT, now maybe LMAT you have given or you have their future attempts. So what you can do is give a lot of mocks, because what giving the mocks gives, like, you can obviously you can give Cracku mocks. For me, I personally took mocks from various tuition classes, and to be honest, there is not much of a difference between those mocks and the snap questions. Why? It is because the level of difficulty is usually matched based on the previous snap paper, and it does not vary much. Maybe 5-10% it would vary every year. But what giving a lot of mocks does is it sets a framework in your mind that what kind of questions would you see in the paper. And when you see that question in actual snap exam which you have already solved in mock, like maybe something, a question that has a framework like that, you immediately click it in your mind, and you save up a lot of time in beside, instead of thinking that how you approach this question, how do you attempt that. So that is where, giving the mocks on a daily basis as well as analyzing them the entire day, even if you don't know any topic, it's okay. If you have to revise some topic or you are weak at any topic, just don't refrain from giving mocks just for the sake that you have not completed it. Just complete your mock and just start analyzing. You may analyze even the questions for the topic which you have not even covered, because what happens that certain topics are so easy, or even if a topic is very difficult, but easy questions may come from that topic. So just keep analyzing, and once you find a pattern, you will ace through the snap exam.
I can see a lot of questions in the comment, and we are going to answer all of them in this session itself. So if you have any questions, you can just ask those questions in the chat box, and we will answer them.
We want to make this session interactive, because obviously right now us giving an entire speech on how do you attempt is not the viable option, because it's hardly 12 days to snap. So we want to interact with you, want to know that what do you want from us and how we can help you reach to SIBM Pune and reach to top symbiosis colleges. So please just shoot your questions.
So one thing many students and aspirants, what they face when they are trying to shift from one type of exam to another, they face the anxiety that the pattern is entirely going to change and how will they adapt to it. One best thing is that along with mocks, you need to look for the previous year papers. They will actually help you get used to the difficulty level, what kind of topics that are frequently asked in these kind of exams, and how you can easily crack and map the type of questions you need to select first. You can easily finish them off, get the marks, and then you go for the difficult ones. So the best point is that start with the previous year papers, and like Rohan has stated that you need to give a lot of marks. You need to give a lot of marks because dedication actually makes its way to the success.
So I would like to take up a question. It says, just a second. Yeah. So you're doing good in LR and quants, but having problem in VA. So verbal ability, that was one question, one section where how I improved on it was, you should, just not read. Like, I'm not saying that go read articles, go read newspapers, but there are some editorials, especially in newspapers like Times of India, Hindustan Times, which are edited by the top, the chief editor of the paper, and they are some really good piece of vocabulary as well as literature, and the grammatical framework of that entire piece is so good that you get a lot of insights, you get to learn a lot of new vocabulary, because in CAT you don't know how much ever vocab you prep, what kind of question shows up over there, whether you will know that vocab. It's totally dependent on how vast your vocab base is. So I would suggest reading a lot, and especially for the since snap in VARC, it is a lot based on the grammar. It focuses on the grammar. So just pick up books like Renan Martin or something. It helped me a lot, because Renan Martin, it forms the base since school level, and it's still effective at the MBA entrance level. It's a book of such a foundation. So maybe you can refer to that books, or there are many mocks as well, like as I stated. So you can refer from there as well.
So actually, the best part is that when you are reading editorials and newspapers, there also the content is going to help you in the GEPI rounds. So this is the best part you can do, that go and rely on newspapers so that you shoot two birds with one stone.
I can see a question by Jay Chandran. He's asking which section should we start with first. What I would suggest is start with your strengths. So, for example, verbal part was my strength. So I used to start with verbal part, and I would save time for other parts in which I would take a lot more time. So if I can attempt verbal part each question in, let's say, 20 seconds, I would save that time and invest that time for quants question, so that I will not have that positive time in the end. So it should depend on you. What is your strength, and you should focus on your strength at this point of time. And I would suggest don't go for anything new. Don't try anything new at this point, because what happens, we have already prepared for CAT, right? And when we are attempting other exams, we should try to focus what our strengths are and keep our weaknesses aside. We can use bucketing methods to identify which type of questions we are able to attempt in a better way. So we can go for them first and save time for difficult questions later. So this kind of strategy, it depends on person to person. It is not something very specific that I can say you should attempt verbal first or quant first. It will depend on you, what you find comfortable, what you're more comfortable with.
Oh, okay. So I can see a question where uh, the student has prepared for CAT, but they could not do well. Don't worry. So you're asking that can we fairly cover all the remaining topics in this month? So yes, it is definitely a yes, because when you prepare for CAT, it is but obvious that it makes you ready for a lot of different topics, and a few topics might vary, but they are not very big topics, since CAT is a 60 marks question and 1 mark question each, so it is not going to be a big toll on your health as well as your study schedule. You can easily cover it. Don't worry about it.
So I see a lot of questions talking about how many questions to answer to get a good percentile. See, here it really depends on how the batch performs overall, right? But in as a general rule, you should be targeting around 45 40 marks, and that should give you a good enough percentile. You should aim to be in the top 98 99 percentilers to get to SIBM Pune. But it really depends on how well you prepare. It really depends on how well the overall performance is.
I can see a question like, sir, can I crack Snap if I start from now because my CAT didn't go well? There is no answer like no for this, because you can crack Snap even if you haven't performed very much good in CAT, because you still have time. You can brush up your topics. You have prepared a lot for CAT also, right? So you can brush up your foundations, go look at what kind of questions will be coming in Snap, give mocks, practice hard, give mocks every day. Show your dedication here and you will get through it.
Also, there are sometimes people who have very specific, like they did personalized inputs. So for that, we are coming to your cities through Coffee with SIBM. You can see the QR code on screen. You can scan that and register for our event. So we will be coming to you, meeting you, and you will be able to ask questions. We will be able to guide you personally, like what your situation is and what you should do. So in these kind of sessions, we are more like we are giving answers which are general, like it is not very specific. But when it comes to personalized input, I think those who can, please visit these. It is free of cost. This event is free of cost, and you can visit us, and we will be able to help you out with strategies.
So along with giving the SNAP tips and how to ace the exam, we'll also be helping you to build your profile. It will actually help you ace the GEPI that you will be facing if you are passing the SNAP test.
So one question I saw is how many marks are enough for Snap? So it really varies according to every person, because I have fellow friends who have given just 5 marks, but I have majority of people who have given at least 10 to 15 marks. For me, I personally gave 20 to 25 marks, because I had started my preparation a lot beforehand. So The point underlying being that giving mocks is actually very essential, be it 5 mocks, but analyzing them is also essential because snap exam won't catch you by surprise if you're already prepared and well versed with the type of questions that come in snap.
I can see a lot of questions asking how to improve logical reasoning. So what actually really helped me was making diagrams. So let's say there is a question of direction. Let's say a person is walking 10 meters north, then 5 meters west, something like those kind of questions we all know. So it is very helpful to make diagrams. We can make Venn diagrams. We can make when there are question of seating arrangement or sequence. If we put it in diagrams, then we are able to visualize it in a better way, and it really helps a lot. So I was in my when I was attempting snap exam, in my mocks and even in the actual exam, these type of diagrams, they helped me get a very good score. And that's I would suggest that if you think that you are weak in logical reasoning, try using this, try making diagrams.
And while you are attempting the paper, you shouldn't fix in your mind that I am going to do 55 questions, I am going to do 60 questions. You shouldn't be going with that mindset. Yes, your mindset should be to maximize the attempts, but if you fix a number that I'm going to attempt this much, it will create anxiety and panic if you are not able to solve any particular question. So the best thing is that go with a cool mind, but go with the idea that you are going to maximize your attempts here and try to solve every question calmly and very smoothly so that anxiety doesn't hit in between.
Building on to what Mansa just said, how you can actually do this in your paper is that you can use the bucketing method. You can think about what topics come easily to you. You can think about which topics are harder, more time consuming to you. So you can keep them apart. You can start with the easiest topics. So you can reduce the time spent on a number of questions. And then you can move on to more difficult topics and you'll have more time left to get into the questions and really solve them with more accuracy.
Okay, I see a question by Jay Chandran. He's asking, should I be worried about my profile? I don't have work experience. So Jay Chandran, I am a fresher. I don't have work experience and I have a gap of 3 years. So if you see, my profile is not that great, but I'm still here at SIBM Pune and I'm representing SIBM Pune at this platform. So the profile is not, a profile does not matter. You should be able to justify that what you have learned, you have the skills. Some people are asking if GEPI process is hard or difficult. The GEPI process is to understand what type of candidate we are when we are appearing in front of a panel. They want to know if we have those skills that could make us corporate leaders. So we just have to highlight that we have those skills and we have that knowledge. Only that is required. It does not matter what kind of profile or background you have. Only thing matters is how you perform in GEPI and SNAP exam.
So adding on to Athar's point, even I'm a fresher and I don't have any gap years. I literally graduated this year and here I am at SIBM Pune. So let me make it very clear to you that it does not matter if you are a fresher, you have a lot of gap years or you don't have any internships or something. It's as long as you're able to justify your cause, why you want to do an MBA and what really drives you to do it. I don't think there will be any problem in the selection process.
Adding on to both Atharv and Rohan, as they have correctly stated that profile doesn't matter, the best part and the major thing that we all did was to put our side of perspective to any question that we faced. Like even if it was GD or even if it was a PI, we faced every challenge and we put our point of the understanding in that. So that was a new point. So like I was a content writer, like when I was doing the group exercise, I put my point from the lens of a content writer, and it actually made me stand uniquely in the group. So that made me gain more points as compared to the others.
So I see a question by Subodh. He's asking, can we refer some short tricks for quants? See, what I would suggest is if you are able to improve your calculation speed, and that you can do by memorizing few things like multiplication tables, memorizing squares, cubes, and these type of things. If you are able to memorize them like prime numbers and all, it helps a lot in faster calculations because when it comes to any MBA exam, and specifically SNAP, it is a speed-based test. If you have that good calculation, you will be able to finish as many questions as possible. So I would recommend that memorize those critical things like multiplication tables, like the squares, cubes, and all. And even when we take percentages, right, we divide by certain numbers for certain percentages. So you can even memorize those just to improve your calculation speed. That's a very critical thing when it comes to quant.
So I would like to take up Sayek's question. Uh, so don't worry if your English is not that good. We are not judging you based on the language. We are going to analyze you. The interviewers are going to analyze you based on the knowledge that you have, what you bring on the table, not the language and not the quality of English that you have. So it does not matter. Don't worry.
Malaya Sharma has asked, is there some sort of VAT exam after SNAP? No, this year we don't have written ability tests, it's only GE and PI. And the entire details about the admission process are updated on our official website. You can check them on that.
So I would like to take up Pratik's question that how much marks are enough for someone with 28 months of experience. So let me break this down very clear to all of you that it does not matter if you're a fresher or a person with even 5 years of work experience. The marks for everyone would be the same because you have to aim for 40 and above marks to be in the 98 to 99 percentile above category to get shortlisted for our college.
So I can see many comments of people being worried about their profile. And what I can fairly suggest that profile is not something which is making a lot of difference. Only thing is if you are able to highlight your skills and knowledge through your profile, then it's going to make some difference. So how to do that, how you can improve your profile, it is more personalized approach. We cannot do that here on through an online platform. That's why we are having our event Coffee with SIBM, that we will be meeting you directly and one-on-one might be able to tell you like how you can improve your profile. But even then, if someone is an engineer with 1.5 year of experience, I saw a comment like that. So that profile, if you are able to highlight in GEPI process that through that engineering or through your work experience, what you learned, like if you develop team skills, if you develop interpersonal skills, were you able to complete some projects, what kind of skills like problem solving skills, critical thinking skills, if you are able to highlight those skills in PI process, then you are having a greater chance of making it to SIBM Pune. That's what I will suggest. Like it is not just because you did something in past, it will not make a difference. But what impact it had on you, that will make a difference. So while selecting candidates, any good B school, they see what the potential is and not what the past is. That's something which we need to consider.
So I see a question. Uh, Papia has asked it. What should be my ideal attempt? So there are three attempts, and I will tell you that all of the attempts have the same level of difficulty. It might happen so that maybe one section might be difficult in one attempt or another might be, but it's all balanced out based on the level of difficulty set by the Symbiosis University. So ideal attempt ऐसा नहीं होता है. It's all about what strikes at that point, and when you're analyzing enough and you have a correct strategy to approach your paper, you are using a bucketing method, you are solving all the questions that you are first very comfortable with, leaving out time for you to come back to the questions that you are finding a bit difficult, then approaching them, then solving them. I think that's what maximizes your score in your attempt.
Okay, adding a very tiny point to Rohan's explanation, because when you are giving 3 attempts, your highest score will be considered among that 3 attempts. So even if you have not done good in one attempt, you don't have to falter. You can do best in the second attempt. I can see another question from Krishna Soni. Do word power made easy would help in verbal section? This is one of the sources that you can rely on for verbal section. If you are not comfortable with the language or if it is very hard for you, you need not refer to Word Power Made Easy. You can refer to some other grammar book, newspapers, go to your coaching class material or anything, any other source you look for. But it's not a fixed course, but it's one of the good books that you can refer to.
Okay, aspirants, we are going to answer all of your questions. Just in between, we would like to show you a trailer of our upcoming event, Coffee with SIBM, so that you might be able to understand what type of event we are having. It is totally free of cost. We are visiting your cities. You can come and meet us, and we are going to help you with profile building. So let's have a look at the trailer, and then then we'll answer rest of the questions. Keep asking the questions in chat box. We will answer all of them.
Okay, so that was the teaser for our event. I would like to say that we are coming to 5 cities this time: Mumbai, Delhi, Lucknow, Pune, and Ahmedabad on the 2nd and 3rd of December. So, if you are free and you would like to come, you are most welcome because we are hosting this for aspirants like you who want last minute strategy, last minute help for preparing strategies. Maybe you are lagging behind in a particular section. Maybe you want how to cope up with the stress or the anxiety. We are there to help you with all of that.
And with the big capital letters, this event is entirely free. You are all invited and it is entirely free of cost.
To know more about the venues and the respective dates, you can go on to our social media channels. We have just released our Meteor posts for respective venues, so you'll be able to find out where each Coffee with SIBM is being held and which one of the aspirant relations team member will be hosting in your city.
And yes, the coffee will be on us. Don't worry.
Okay, continuing with answering the questions, I see a question that how to analyze mocks. And this is a very important aspect actually. Mock analysis is the single most important thing that can make a big difference in your score in actual exam. So what I used to do is, whenever I would attempt a mock exam, I would look at those questions first which I attempted wrong, and I would see the reason why were they wrong. Like was there some silly mistake, maybe some calculation mistake, or maybe I understood some concepts wrong. So I would look at those questions first. Then I would look at those questions which I could not attempt, because I would understand how can I attempt those questions if I get them in the real exam. So from that, basically I would analyze those questions first, and then I would move to those questions which I attempted correctly. I would not spend too much time on those questions. I would just see that if I could have done something better to do that question in a more faster way. So this way, you might be able to understand which section is your weakness or which type of questions are your weakness. And in actual exam, you might even try to skip those questions for later, and you can attempt which your strengths, just bank on your strength at this point of time.
So I would just like to take up one question by Nupur that considering the prep time left, should we work on topics like vocabularies and analogies now? So for vocabularies and analogy, it is a very minor topic. So what you can focus on, as I said, is you can keep reading articles. And one more tip, a small tip would be just look up 5 new words every day. And I think learning 5 new words every day is not a very great task. It could be completed say within 10 to 15 minutes, and just build up. So in 10 more days, you will be able to learn 50 new words if you keep up that pace. So I think that's something that might help.
There is another question. Did you give all 3 attempts? And this is completely subjective. Like, not everybody does give 1 or 2 or 3 attempts. It's completely dependent on how much confidence you have and how much you can give in the examination. So, like, I have given 2 attempts. Maybe somebody else gave only 1 attempt, or somebody else tried for the first 2 attempts and gave the third attempt clearly. It entirely depends on how best you can perform and how much confident you are.
I see one question by Soumya: how to analyze your mocks. So, how I would go about analyzing my mocks is that I would, after being done with the entire question paper, I would sit down with it. I would go through each question and think about how comfortable I was with the topic, how much time did I take with that particular question, and what was the accuracy with respect to the time. So I know it seems like a very time consuming process in the beginning, but as and when you get used to analyzing your mocks, it becomes very natural for you. And then you can, use not just these, but many more parameters that you want to create for yourself to understand where you stand regarding that particular topic. That will make you understand which topics are the easiest for you, which ones are the harder ones for you, which ones you want to work on, which ones you can probably leave behind and not work on, because as we said again and again, each question carries the similar amount of marks and there is no sectional cutoff. So the best strategy for you has to be designed by you.
I can see a question. So we should practice for mocks for now, or should we go back to books and solve? So since there are only 10 to 12 days left for the first SNAP exam, we will just advise that don't start solving from the foundation, but it's always important to go for revision every day. You need to make a note that you need to revise the good topics, the strengths of yours every day, and you need to give mocks frequently because they are very closer to the real pattern of the exam. So bank on your strength, revise every day, and start giving mocks only now. That will be better.
What I would suggest is don't go for anything new. If you start studying a new topic which you have not studied before, that we don't have that much time at this so we will have to focus on what we can do, like our strengths, and we might go to books to revise some topics which we feel like we are lagging behind, like we are able to attempt some questions but not all of them, so we can go to the books and like polish our skills in those kind of questions. But I would not recommend to go to something very new because it won't make much difference.
So I can see a question. How many mocks till 10 days advisable? So I think if you have not already started analyzing them or giving them on a daily basis, maybe you can start with 5 to 6 mocks, as you will also need a lot of time for analyzing those mocks and writing down all of those pointers that you gain from the questions. So I think 6 mocks are advisable in this period, and if you have a good pace, maybe you can go up to 7 or 8 mocks.
I can see a question. How do I keep mental calmness during the exam and cope up with the pressure? I can really understand this because when you are sitting in a center with 100 strange people giving a competitive exam and you have to maximize your score in 1 hour, it's going to be really tough. But when the paper starts, the best thing you can do is, because SNAP allows navigation throughout the paper, you navigate the paper for just 1 minute. Don't spend time navigating and waste your time there. Just navigate the paper and first find where are your strength topics, and you first start attempting them. That will break the ice and ease you into the paper so that you'll gain some confidence. Like, yes, I'm getting some questions, I'm good in this. So you can slowly go into easy questions and then you can shift to the harder ones. That will actually help you resolve the pressure.
Adding on to Mansa's point, there are many things you can do to keep your mental peace. For example, you can meditate. I used to meditate a lot. I would meditate daily before the exam. It would help me keep my mind calm. Also, what happens is sometimes when we are attempting exam, and if we are not able to attempt one question, let's say if, we are not able to attempt a question, we move to the next question, and we are not able to attempt that also, we move to third question, and that's also something which we are not comfortable with. So it builds up a pressure in our mind, it builds up some stress, and it might affect those questions which we are comfortable with. So what I would suggest is just take a deep breath, forget about whatever previous questions were, just focus on what is in front of you, like have some mindfulness. We do this exercises in meditation. So have some mindfulness, focus on the present, focus on the question in front of you, and attempt that with all your, like, whatever abilities you have. Don't take the burden of previous exam or previous questions in your mind, because that will cause some problem. Even if you are able to attempt the question, just because you have that burden on your mind, you won't be able to attempt those questions. That's what I would suggest.
I can see a lot many frequently asked questions like what are the major topics in LR, major topics in Quant and Bubble. But SNAP doesn't have any fixed syllabus. It's a very dynamic exam. What came previous year might not come this year. The pattern might entirely change. So when you are attempting this kind of exam, try to keep a grip on every topic. And that doesn't mean that you start learning a new topic now. Whatever are your best topics and whatever you have practiced till now, keep a good foundational knowledge about it and try to revise and build up on that so that you are good in that topic and you can make the most marks out of that.
So I would like to address a question. What is the minimum target score? So there is not any limit to the target score or a set barrier that at this score you will clear the cutoff. But you can always aim for 40 plus marks to be on the safer side, as it is advisable to be above the average people as always. And another question I could see is you have two tuition classes mocks, but which one to give? Uh, I gave, to be honest, I gave both of them, and I did not find much of a difference. So maybe you can switch between both of those, while give a even number of mocks and switch between both of those alternated, and you will figure it out.
I see a question. Someone is asking that they get confused on how much time to spend in one section because there are no sectional limits in this exam. So what I would suggest is please attempt those questions which you are comfortable with first. Like let's say you are comfortable with verbal part first. I was comfortable with verbal, so I would attempt that first. It would take me less amount of time for that. You can also do one thing, that you can decide beforehand that okay, I would spend this much time, like let's say I would spend 15 minutes in verbal part. If the 15 minutes get over, I would move to the next section without sticking to that section itself, because I might lose some questions which are easier for me, but I am not able to see them because I was busy with one section. So what I would suggest is pre-decide, like if you can say I would take 25 minutes for one section, 15 minutes for another section. Just decide that in your mind first and just follow that time limit. And you can keep some buffer time also, so that you might go back to those questions which you left because they were not easy in the first glance. You can attempt them later. That's what I would suggest.
So I would like to address the same question from my perspective. Since I was good in quants, so my idea and vision was that I will start the paper from backwards. I will start from quant section first because I will be able to attempt the most. But here also, I didn't keep the mindset that I'll be spending 15 or 20 minutes fixed time in quant section. My idea was to spend the fixed time on a particular question. Like within 1 minute, if I'm able to solve, I'll solve. Otherwise, I'll just jump forward. My strategy was like that. Start with the quants, then I was good in verbal, so I did verbal next, and then I shifted to LR. So like this, you can give mocks and you can form your strategy now itself. This will actually help you to gain confidence and start very correctly without wasting time on the detail.
Right. So adding on to Mansa's point, just as she said that she was good in quants. It was the opposite for me. I was not very good at quants, but I was good at verbal as well as LR. So what I did was minimized my time solving both of those questions, so I would get maximum time to attempt my quant section. So there is no specific timeline that you can set to each question, because it actually depends on your comfort. Because some people coming from maybe a background where you have a lot of calculations, a lot of mathematics, you might ace through the verbal section, but might lag behind in the LR as well as VA, and it might be vice versa. So it just depends. And another question I would like to take up is pass snap papers or focus on mocks. So I would like to say that all the mocks are actually based on the past snap papers. So I would just suggest you to go through the mocks, go through the previous snap papers, and then as well as simultaneously you can solve your mocks as well, because as I said, analysis is the key, and you have to keep analyzing if you want to get to know the snap pattern.
So it's a long story short that past year papers will help you understand the pattern and mocks will help you practice. So you need to focus on both of them.
I see a question. A student is confused about the number of questions and how the breakup is going to be. So let me just revise it quickly for you. There's going to be 15 questions from VARC, 20 questions are going to be quants, and 25 questions are going to be LR and analytical reasoning.
Okay, I see a question. Karthik is saying, I am disheartened after performing worse in CAT than what I have imagined. So, how to cope with this? So, Karthik, I can tell you that when I was attempting CAT, like I was attempting mocks for CAT, I was getting like 99, 98 percentile. So, I was fairly confident that I will get a very good percentile. But when I attempted CAT, it was not that great. I got more than 98 percentile, but still not what I had imagined. So it is not like if you are disheartened after that burden, if you're carrying on your mind, it might lead to poor performance in other exams as well. So what I would suggest is please keep that out of your mind. Take a deep breath, focus on what's in front of you. Just learn from what mistakes you made in past, and you can go on with that. Don't keep that burden on your mind. Just that's what I would suggest, because many good students I know personally who did this because their CAT was not good. They did not like they were disheartened. They did not perform well for other exams as well. Please do not do that. Focus on what's in front of you.
So adding on to Athar's point, don't worry. I was the one who performed worse in Snap, and worse in Cat, and I did not ever imagine that I would be able to crack Snap, because I was in such an anxious state that will I be able to do it, because I had prepared so much for Cat, and after that disheartening performance, it took me a day to get back on track after Cat, but then when I started again analyzing the mocks, because I was doing it even before CAT exam, I realized that you can't just do anything by sitting and getting disheartened, because once you start doing that, your potential gets reduced. So instead, get back to it, and when you are able to crack those questions in mocks, your confidence builds up, and it actually helps you a lot in gaining even a higher score than you might even get after even attempting a good snap paper.
Pracheta has a doubt that is there any sectional cutoff? No, Snap doesn't have any sectional cutoffs. There is only overall score.
So I see a lot of questions asking how many attempts we did for our snap exam. So actually during my time, my snap one attempt it clashed with the IIFT exam. So I gave two exams. You can let the panelists talk.
I can see many questions regarding which is the best mock to buy for Snap. What I would say that there is not much difference in mocks. What makes a difference is how you are analyzing them and how you are working on your weak areas. So even Cracku provide mocks. There are many different mocks available on different websites. You can go for any one of them. Just what actually important for mocks is how you are analyzing them. If you are able to identify those questions which are which are your weaker areas, and you are working on them, and when you get the same questions in exam, you are able to solve them. This is how we are able to slowly improve ourselves. Mocks are not just to see where we are. Mocks are also to analyze how we are improving. If you are giving multiple mocks, let's say you're giving 10 mocks, you can see your progress through them. And with that, you can get a confidence that, okay, my marks are improving. And in the final exam, I will get even greater marks. So from that also, it helps when you're comparing those previous marks as well and identifying your weaker areas.
So like aspirants have many doubts like do we have RC and DI in SNAP? We cannot predict it exactly because it is a dynamic exam and the syllabus changes. It might come this year, but it is not completely sure. So you need to analyze the previous year papers, but even if some of these topics like RC and DI are not there, even if they are not present in the previous year's paper, you need to have some foundational grip on them so that even if they pop up in your exam, you will be able to handle them.
So Samir, the ideal number of mock attempts, it should vary somewhere between, even if you give 5 mocks and analyze them good enough, and you set a particular pattern in your mind. These kinds of questions are coming in the snap exam in every mock. That should be enough. As long as you get comfortable with the entire snap exam paper pattern, you can keep giving the mocks, and the most important part is analyzing them. Don't just leave the mocks after giving them or get disheartened if you have a low score. Just be sure to analyze them.
Adding on to Rohan's point, I would just like to suggest that when you are attempting mocks or you are studying or anything, just because your cat was not that great, don't overburden yourself. It will lead to burnout. You cannot say that, okay, my cat was not that great. I will study 18 hours a day and I will crack snap. That's not going to happen. It will affect you negatively. So just take some time, analyze whatever you are doing here, analyze your current situation, see what you need to crack snap, and go proceed accordingly. Please don't overburden yourself. That's what I would suggest.
So by that we mean like you need to increase the frequency of giving mocks or your stress on the revision in an exponential way. Don't overburden and start giving 2-3 mocks starting from today. Give mocks alternative days for just 2-3 days, and now this again start giving mocks every day. And then I think maybe 2-3 days before the exact snap exam, you can give 2 mocks a day. Like that, you can build up the confidence and slowly build up the rapport so that you don't burden yourself.
So I would like to answer a question. Is that written ability test scrapped this year? Yes, this time we will only have the group exercise as well as the personal interview round. And another question I can see, if do freshers have a chance in SIBM Pune? So I repeated this answer. It had been asked before as well. I can tell you that I am a fresher and I come from a bachelor's of commerce background, and I am here sitting in front of you in SIBM Pune. I made it. Don't worry. Freshers do have a chance, and I thought I would be the youngest in this college, being 21 years old. But there are a lot of friends that I have. They are even 20 or 21. Don't worry.
So, adding on to Rohan's point, I think what he means to say here is that we maintain a good mix and a diverse batch of students. We have equal number of freshers and equal number of work students, and everyone here comes with a very diverse profile. So you'll find engineering, non-engineering students, people who've done arts, even myself from architecture. You will find a very diverse batch, and again, that will really help you. Enrich yourself, and it will help you in peer learning as well.
I can see a question from Jayachandran like, should I do mocks more or sectionals more? Yes, I know that some coaching centers also provide sectional papers for practice. But from my perspective, no, it's completely my perspective, that I felt sectionals were only for practice and to get to know about the topics. But when you are doing the mocks, you will get the advantage of learning with the chance that you can navigate and shift throughout the paper through different sections also, which you will not be able to do when you are giving just a sectional test. So I had a perspective that mocks are more better than the sectional cutoff, sectional tests. So I felt like that. If you are trying to build on your concepts, you are trying to learn, and you want to test for a particular section, you can go for them also.
So going ahead with Tanmay's question, is the program Coffee with SIBM on offline? Yes, it is offline. We are hosting it in 5 cities. It is Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Lucknow, as well as Ahmedabad, and we are not hosting it online as of now. But we are planning to reach to a lot of you. We will be hosting a lot of sessions like these, and guide you throughout your journey.
Someone is asking how to improve English score. I would suggest that if you're attempting English paper, you have to understand that you cannot do that in very short time. It takes some time to build up that kind of knowledge, because English is something which will require some time. You cannot just memorize some formulas and go for it. So what I would suggest is start reading newspapers, start reading editorials in newspapers, like good editorials, which will also improve your knowledge. Like for GEPI process, for any B school, they will ask you some questions from current affairs. So you will have to have that knowledge also, and you will also get to understand vocabulary and those kind of aspects, which will help you with English part. So that's what I would suggest for this.
So another question is, what is the average range of snap score in our batch? So I don't know about the entire batch, but I have a lot of friends over here, and let me assure you that everyone over here has maybe an average score of 40 and above, because that's what it takes to get a decent percentile. I would like to answer Krish's question. Does SIBM Pune have 100% placement? Yes, we have a 100% placement. And to tell you, we just wrapped up with our summer internship recruitment process, and all of us are placed. So that's about it.
So there's a question from where to prepare American versus British English question. So this is one of the topic that might come in the SNAP exam. So you can refer to any online source you get. If you can refer to any grammar book, very good standard grammar book, you can refer to that. Or if you are attending some coaching classes, you can refer to the coaching materials or even ask the faculty there. So it's not like any one topic and you are going to focus on that. It's better you go to different sources and you gain as much as you can.
Okay, so with this, we come to an end of this session. It was very interactive session, and we are really thankful for you to join us. We would also suggest you to come and visit us when we are visiting the cities for Coffee with SIBM. It's totally free of cost. You can come visit us at the venues which have been specified on our social media platforms, and we will be interacting with you face to face. We will be clearing your doubts. We will be telling you about insight for SNAP examination, building our profile, and we all attended Coffee with SIBM last year, so it helped us a lot, and you are getting the same opportunity. So please avail this opportunity and do register for Coffee with SIPM. The QR code is on the screen. You can scan it, or there is the link in the description as well. You can click on it and register for Coffee with SIPM. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, that's right. To be honest, I'm very excited to see a lot of folks from this session. I will be coming to Ahmedabad as well as Mumbai. So if any of you folks are from over there, do attend the event. We will have a good chat, a good guidance session, and it will be really helpful for you. We'll have a coffee. We'll have a coffee together. Please come.
Same for me. I'm visiting Delhi and Lucknow this time. So I am also looking forward to meeting all the aspirants who are going to join me there. We can also have a coffee, talk about profile building, how to ace SNAP, and I can also share you my tips. How could I go with the preparation after CAT and what I did best to crack SNAP and GEPL.